Morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Frequency Soul Collective. Bec McQuilty here. Just here today to do a Q&A. So I would invite you to please unmute yourself. I'm certainly not going to claim to have all of the answers for you today, but anything that I don't know, I would encourage you that to just know that we will find the answers out for you. So I'm definitely not here to know everything, but I'd like to think that there's definitely some wisdom that I'm able to share with you today. So please ask away.
Yeah, Bec, can I ask a question, please?
Yes, Lisa. Hi.
Hi. I am doing the easy scan every morning, and I have been, oh geez, where's that time gone? Probably for about the last 8 months. And just wanted to know if I'm using it the best way that I possibly can. So basically, I'm going in and running the scan at the same time every morning.
Right.
What I realized yesterday was that I can actually go then onto my inner voice and it will show the inner voice results, because it doesn't actually show on the easy scan, does it? So I'm wondering what else I might be missing.
Okay, so that's a really good question, by the way. I love that. Thank you for asking that. So firstly, you're 100% right. You don't see the inner voice report on the easy scan, but if you do click out of that and go into inner voice, you will see that. So that's the first thing. I'm just finishing running a scan and then I'll be able to share my screen with you. Secondly, I think the important thing is to make sure that all of your supplementation and all of your homeopathy is imprinted into your profile. So do you have that?
Yes, I haven't updated it for a while because it's actually coming up and telling me to take supplements that I've run out of now. But yes, I do. And while we're on that subject, somebody told me that I could actually imprint my hand. Is that correct?
Imprint your hand?
Yes. Can I put my hand over and actually imprint that with what's coming up in the, I think that's what you mean by the homeopathics, is when it comes up and it gives you with your actual physical supplements, the different things that you're needing.
Yeah, but from a homeopathy perspective, so you've specifically gone into the library and added them all?
Yeah, I think I did that with the help of somebody months ago, so I wasn't paying too much attention to what I did, but they're all there anyway.
Good, as long as they're all there. And the detox ones, do the detox ones come up for you, like bacteria detox, Lyme detox, anything like that that you might be needing?
I believe so.
Cool.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I'll share my screen in a minute and show you anyhow, because that's one thing that I probably didn't do in the initial stages because I really just didn't know to do it. And it's something really easy that you can do that then will show you all of your homeopathy, etc. each day. So I'll click over. I'm just finishing a comprehensive scan on one of our beautiful QLAs here, who I see, whose internet seems to be going okay. Isn't it, David? You don't look like you're in the car. You're good. He's good. He was a bit worried about how his internet was going to go, but he's all good. Ladies, I'm feeling very, very much like we're a bit outnumbered here. We gotta get our girl power up. We've got Gary and like Ashraf and David, all the guys are here. Seriously. No, it's good. It's actually amazing. I love it. Okay, so I don't feel like you're really missing anything in the sense of that, but listening to your balancing harmonics, obviously every day is really important. To be honest with you, before I went to the States, I only ever listened to my balancing harmonics and ran my easy scan for the most part in the morning. I would try to remember to do it at night, but it was a bit sporadic. Now, knowing what I know with how incredible this technology is that we have, when I'm home, even during the day, I will run a lunchtime scan. I won't always listen to my harmonics but I will always run the scan. So I'm working to bring my body back into balance up to 3 times a day, as opposed to just doing it of a morning. So I really feel like that is a really important thing to be doing. I'm just going to click over and log into my account so that I can show you, for those of you who might be new, or to be honest, I wasn't even new when this came to my attention. I'm just going to go into my profile and then I'll share my screen with you.
And am I correct in saying that the sorry, it's totally gone. Oh, you don't wear the headset, do you? That was going to be my question.
I don't. A lot of people do, but I don't. No, I don't.
What about listening to the harmonics? You don't actually have it on then?
For the harmonics, I have a noise cancelling headset that I do listen to my harmonics with, because you must have headphones for the harmonics. You don't listen to those harmonics out loud.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, I'm using the ones that are provided by Solex, but they are plugged into the machine. So
Perfect.
I'm guessing, but it does restrict me very much if I'm doing other things. So you can get those, so they're cordless, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the company sell a Bluetooth headset. So that's what I would recommend, is the Bluetooth headset from Solex.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Because you can run your scan on that, but then you can also listen to your balancing harmonics that way, and then it's cordless. I know what you mean. So yeah, I would definitely do it that way. I'm just going to show you, actually it's not my profile because I've already got it in there. I'm going to have to find somebody else. Let me see, seeing as I'm using David as my guinea pig today. He's game, isn't he? I don't think he realizes what he's in for. Just kidding. But I don't think I have the homeopathy for him in there yet. So what I'm going to do is click on his name, go to supplements and therapies, go to this little green book, or maybe I have put it in there, the little green book. And then, so I'm just going to, so you don't have to add everything, but I'm going to select all. Oh, maybe he is already in there. Let me find a different example. Bear with me for a sec. So if I go supplements and therapies, go to the little book, the green one, go to select all, scroll down to the bottom, scroll. Now I've got to move my toolbar. One moment, please. Go to
So
add.
should we be adding these to all of our clients? Would you recommend?
If you're doing easy scans for them, sure. Absolutely, you can do. I kind of pick and choose that. So that's that. So add that, and then go back to the, now I'm going to go back to me because I'm not going to use this person as an example. So now if I go to my easy scan from this morning, you will, and I go to my report, you will see that I scroll down. So this is my morning routine, and I love the question. Thank you for asking this. The first thing I do is I scroll down and I imprint my homeopathy that it's asking for. So I get my glass of water, filtered water, I sit it on my device, and then I imprint. Someone asked me the other day, do I imprint separate glasses of water for each one? No, I don't. I do them all together. I can't remember who that was, but whoever it was, oh, I know who it was, did them all separately. And then I said, oh, well, at least you're completely hydrated now. So that was perfect. So I've already imprinted all of these this morning and drunk my water down. So that's what I do with that. And then any supplements, I've just started a couple of new supplements that I added in this morning as well after the scan, which wasn't ideal. I probably should have done it beforehand. But let's just go to that for a second, because if you want to imprint a supplement, you go to your name, go to supplements and therapies, go to the plus button, type in the name of it. So it might be, the brand. I actually need to put one in here anyway. So my vitamin D, and I take that morning, noon, and night is when I'm supposed to. So I'm supposed to give it a proper description, but I'll go back in there later and do that. And then the quantity is 1, and then you click over to what it is. So if it's a liquid, like if it's a dropper or something like that, just put it in a glass or a little shot glass and scan it in that way. But in my case for this is actually a tablet. Now, if I was out in the kitchen and I had the tablet, I would then scan the tablet into the device and then click save. So now there's another one of my supplements in there. So rather than the amount of people that I see over supplementing seriously is insane. So you don't need to be over supplementing. You just need to be taking what your body is needing at the time. So, so that is my routine. So I hope that I know that's a very long-winded answer to your question, Lisa, but I hope that helps. I think if you want to look at your emotions of what's going on in the body, for sure, you can go to inner voice, but I don't, unless it's something that, you know, if by listening to the harmonics, I'm really kind of triggered by, which doesn't happen very often. Then I will go and investigate. Oh, I wonder what that emotion was, but very rarely. So as a routine, easy scan morning, noon, and night, and listening to my harmonics at least morning and evening.
And the glasses, Bec, that's one thing that I keep meaning to do, but because I wear glasses, I'm finding it tricky to fit that into my day. What are your thoughts on that? And which ones are preferable? Because I tell you 2 colors.
I feel, to be honest with you, I feel like you intuitively choose the color. I feel whichever one you're drawn to is what you need to be wearing. Do I wear the colored glasses all of the time? No. Should I? Yes, but I don't. Do I do it with my clients? Absolutely. So that's probably, you know, I mean, the more you can do, the better effect you're going to have. But at the same time, like if dark blue comes up for you and, you know, you're listening to your harmonics, I mean, ideally you should be listening to your harmonics, not doing anything. You should be taking that time to relax or whatever. But for me, looking through the dark blue glasses whilst I'm in the dark anyway, because when I get up early to go to the gym, it's still dark at the moment because it's winter. There's kind of no point for me, right? But you know, the glasses are there for benefit. So obviously the more you wear them, the more benefit you will get.
Yeah, and for what, about 15 minutes of time?
Just whilst you're listening to the harmonics.
Harmonics. All right, great. Okay, I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to go back and watch the I believe the Solex training has been
the new
updated.
one,
yeah. So that's on my list to go back and watch that. There's a lot of people on this call, so I'll give other people a chance. But thank you for answering those questions.
No trouble. Yeah, absolutely.
Well.
No troubles whatsoever. And if you think of anything else, just shout out. Kate, I see that you have your hand up for a question. How can I help?
Hi, I'm fairly new to this, so I'm still sort of trying to figure things out.
Sure.
There's a supplement, or there's an injection that I'm supposed to start that I'm really dreading because it's for my diabetes, but it has a lot of side effect that makes you feel very sick. And I was wondering, can I actually do that? Add that onto my supplement to see how I go with that, but it is an injection. So how do I go about scanning it into the system?
My first thought is no. I think if it's a pharmaceutical drug, you need to keep that separate. However, I do believe that you can support your body during that process, you know, look at the diabetic side of it and go and run playlists for yourself. You could be going into homeopathy and looking up diabetes there. Let me just have a quick look and creating a specific playlist for you to support you on that journey so that you don't need that injection, right? That would be my focus. Let me just have a look under Steffi. Let's go to homeopathy. Let's go to symptom. And let's go to diabetes. Oops. diabetes. So here you go. You've got diabetes, blood glucose. So, you know, just see whichever resonates with you, most likely blood glucose here. And you can click on that. And now it's going to give you the entire homeopathy profiling. So, you know, you could be imprinting your water every morning and drinking that down and noticing the difference. Now, whilst I'm here, what you will see here, let me go to something different because diabetes is not relevant to me. Let me go to something that's more relevant to me at the moment. One moment, please. I couldn't, I'm that adrenal fatigued. I couldn't even think of the word adrenal fatigue. So I've had a bit of an issue of late. It's been happening for a little while with my blood pressure. I've been trying to bring it down myself. I've been trying to do all the things only to realize that it's actually not the cause of what's happening. The cause of what's happening is my adrenals. So it was only yesterday that I went, okay, hang on a minute. I went to homeopathy. I found adrenal fatigue. And now if you can see under here, there's a scan button. If I click this scan button, what it's actually going to do is put those homeopathies in order of priority for my body.
Okay.
Isn't that cool? So I can still play them all or imprint them all into water or whatever I want to do. But it's actually given me the list in actual priority of what my body is needing. Isn't that amazing?
Yep, that's great.
You didn't know that? That's something to look at because I don't know a lot about homeopathy. Like if you were to say to me, so what homeopathy is good for diabetes? Not an absolute clue. But I love that we can click to by symptom and it will actually tell you. So and then you can actually just clear your water and then imprint your water that way. I think that that's a really great way to do it so that you don't necessarily need to know everything about homeopathy, but you can still have everything that you need based on whatever it is that you're dealing with, whether that be anxiety, diabetes, whatever the case may be.
Cool. And on the other subject of you coming to Sydney,
yes,
how would I invite, because I'm new and I haven't talked to anyone about Solix yet, how would I approach trying to invite someone to the night? I mean, what do I tell them and how do I word it? Because I still am learning and I really don't know how to explain to people what it is yet.
Sure, totally get you. So firstly, I'm going to create an event on Facebook for you to be able to invite people to, and I'm going to give a little bit of an explanation on there. But to be honest with you, it would just be anyone who has genuine care for their own health and wellness and wants to take control of their own health back into their own hands. I would be saying exactly that to them. Look, you know, there's a kinesiologist, psychic counselor coming from Queensland who specializes in bioresonance therapy. And we have this incredible tool that I've been utilizing. It's only new for me and I'm still learning it, but I'm loving it so far. And I'd just love for you to come along with me or meet me there just to check out more information to see whether it might be something for you.
Need a transcription of that.
I know it's like it is one of those things that I say these things and then people go, can you repeat that? And I'm like, not generally, no. I can try though. But I am
recording for that part.
yes well I am recording, so you're all good. But yeah, look, I think, you know, putting it out to the people who you know have a genuine interest in their health, you know, and want to help themselves or may have something going on in their body that we may be able to look at assisting with, for sure.
Yeah, because I was thinking of a friend who's got a autistic adult son. Yeah. And she is her carer, he's carer. And, you know, whenever I talk to her, she's always so drained and she doesn't get a break because she's the only one that looks after him. And it's sort of like you look at her and you feel like she needs a holiday and you wish there was something that you could do for him so
Yeah.
that she can get a bit of a break or get a bit of support and that sort of thing. So I really sort of want to try and talk to her, but I also don't know how to talk to her. So I want to get the information so I don't stuff it up the first go sort of thing.
Sure. And there's one thing I'll say to you is that you can never say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. So, as long as you're leading from a good space and your heart, honestly, you won't get it wrong. But on Monday night, we are doing a training on NDIS. Debbie Jane's going to be leading that up.
Yep.
And so if you would like to jump on that, because that's something to discuss with her as well. But to be honest with you, first and foremost, what I would be saying to her is, look, I have a tool that can actually balance your emotions, and it's really been helping me from a stress perspective. I would love to gift you an emotional balance scan, because what it's going to do is give you some balancing harmonies to listen to, just to help you feel better and to cope better. And just get her listening to the balancing harmonies every day, because once she experiences it as well, that will really help her.
So that means running an inner voice for her?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And then just send her the harmonies and the report.
Okay, cool. I'll try that. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure. Absolutely. Now, I do want to go through a scan as well today, just to show you how I go, just to give you some examples of what I look for. So I will do that in a moment. I just wanted to flag that as we go through the questions. Annette, good morning.
Hi there. I'm new too, Kate. I've got a lady that's late 80s, and she's got a lot going on. She's she's always been alternative all her life, but she can't listen to the music because she hasn't got an email and all that. How can I sort of help her? How would, on a daily thing, what do you recommend?
I mean, you can be sending her frequency. That's fine. Does she have a mobile phone?
Yeah, but she's pretty deaf and gets a bit doddery, and it would be quite complicated for her unless I went round and did it with her, but that's not always an option.
Sure, I totally understand. Because I'm thinking, you could always set up an email for her on her phone and just have it sort of logged in so that you could just have her play her harmonies. But apart from the inner voice, you could just create a playlist for her and be running frequency for her daily or weekly. She doesn't need to listen to anything.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Let me just go to the chat real quick, because I have a question in here I saw come up. So let me go back and can you explain the red dots in the vital scan and the differences between 1 to 9? Oh, good question. Yes, I can, and I'm going to do that in the actual scan. So thank you for asking that. Do we have to run Do we have to run the inner voice first for a client, or can we go straight to the easy scan? Geez, there's some good questions today. I'm loving this. Thank you so much. We should do this more often. In all honesty with you, I will always run inner voice, vitals, and comprehensive before I ever run an easy scan. Always. That is the short answer. Even if you're going through a report for someone just for, let's say, an easy scan, I would do all of the scans first so that you make sure you have a full profile of the client, because remember that it's, we're gathering a blueprint of this person. So I definitely do an inner voice, a vitals, and a comprehensive. Let me share my screen and answer your question in regards to the 1 to 9 and the red and the red and the green. Let me go back out of here. We're going to find out everything about David today. I could have done my own David, but we decided to do yours for some reason. There we go. Must have something to know. So this is my beautiful friend over in Canada, Toronto in Canada, because I'm manifesting going to Canada. So I've manifested David into our world, who knows so much to do with frequency and communicates with his collective a lot. Him and I have some very amazing conversations. So David has been so kind to allow me to go through his scans today, just so that he can, one, understand them better, but also two, so that you guys kind of can understand how to read them a little bit better as well. So now, in all honesty, this kind of consult would normally take me 45 minutes to an hour, and we don't have that type of time today. So I am going to shorten it a little, but just know that there will always be little things that you will always pick up along the way. Okay. So you don't need to try and learn everything today, because as you know, there is a lot to learn, and I honestly just recommend learn as you go. So this is your inner voice scan. Now, as I say, I recommend listening to that at least once to twice a day. You have a 3, 5, and 10 minute. You can turn the actual music up, is what I prefer, and the frequency down, but it's up to you. If you like the sound of frequency, you can by all means go and listen to that. And then you can also change the music. So you can have a bit of a play with this and really work out which you prefer. But listening to your inner voice scan every day is really important, because everything starts with emotion. And so that's where we will always start with a client. When it comes to the actual inner voice scan, what we're doing is we use lie detector technology to pick up what octaves are missing in the voice, that then correlates what's going emotionally on in the body. And it's the notes that it's actually picking up that will give you specific notes in the frequency music to balance that out. So as an example, at one end of the scale, we have being self-critical, who's not, let's be honest. So self-critical is at one end of the scale and self-accepting is at the other. What this is saying is there is an imbalance between the two. So usually I will recommend for my, whether it be a client or a friend or whoever I'm running the frequency for, to look at the negative emotions. And they will usually, it's not always going to be all of them that they will feel, but there will be a number of those that they will really resonate with. And then the positive emotions of what we're working towards. So they'll notice a shift in that. My best friend of 30 something years is like super down the allopathic model, bless her cotton socks. And she just thinks I'm an absolute hippie. But she had a session with me recently and I gave her tunes. And I said to her, look, I just want you to listen to them every day. And I'll update them weekly for you and just let me know how you go. And she said to me yesterday, she goes, man, I'm loving those tunes. She said, my daughter walked in the other day and she's laying there with the headphones on and her eyes shut. And because they're noise cancelling headphones, she said, I didn't even know she'd walked into the room. And she said, when I woke up and opened my eyes, her daughter was like, Mom, what are you doing? She goes, I think I'm meditating. I said, I'll turn you into a hippie yet. So it's really cool to, to have people really be able to drop in and balance those emotions. She's feeling so much better, so much better. Now with the inner voice, you can do it with or without the vitals. I've chosen to do it with the vitals today because it can show you some really good snapshots of, what's emotionally, like what emotions are triggered, some potential causes as well, your vitals, what you might be needing. So what we're doing here is putting together pieces of the puzzle. To me, on this particular scan, what flags to me here is that B9 and B12 are out. So I'm going to have a look at that in the vitals scan. And then it also gives you some imbalances and suggestions. Like you can see here on the imbalances and suggestions, spine, improved posture, increased trace minerals, have quality pillow and mattress. And then if you look here on the left-hand side where the human body is, it's showing the spine here. So it's actually showing you through these pictures what's being physically affected by those emotions, right? So I'm just going to scroll down and, there's definitely some gut brain stuff going on. So you can start to get a real picture of what is going on in the body. So in 3 of the 4 scans, we're showing digestive. Does that resonate with you, David? I'll make sure he's still here. His internet was playing up before. Oh yeah, you're still here. You can unmute yourself if you want to. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking about you. So that's inner voice. Our vitals, really good question before of the 1 to 9 scale. So we have a lot of videos on this as well, and you'll probably find it will be in your basic training. However, as an explanation, what we're looking for is a 4, 5, or a 6 is that optimal normal balance. If you refer it to a radio station, let's say, you know, you're wanting to listen to 96.5 FM and you've got an old school radio station and you're turning that dial. To listen to the music really clearly, it needs to be on 96.5. It needs to be on that number. That's a 5, right? If it's a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, it's okay. But the further you go out from that, you start to hear the static and the frequency shifts, right? And so if the further out you are, then you're only hearing static and not the music. So what we're saying here is if it's really a 1 or a 9, that's really what we want to focus on. So a 3, 2, and a 1 is sort of underactive or diminished, sluggish would be the words that we would use. A 7, 8, or a 9 is overactive or inflammatory. Okay. Now, if you look at the right-hand side, this is the first scan that runs through the body. We're not shifting nor changing anything. All that we're doing is looking at what is in balance and what is out of balance. Or in the words of what it says on the report here, it is either in range or it is out of range. So for example, we have cheddar cheese here is a 1. However, when we've optimized those frequencies, which is the technology working to bring everything back into homeostasis, for it to be working in the frequency of which it resonates in harmony and balance, that is what we call the current scan. And again, it's going to show you what is in range and out of range. What we really want to focus on only is what is out of range that couldn't be shifted.
Bec.
Yes, hello. Oh, hello. Now you turn up.
No, yeah, no, I've been here all along. It's just that I
know. See how easy you are to get rolled up. I love it.
just muted, and then I realized that I needed to mute. I had to zip down to my phone again because I went outside, no connection. Came back inside, then the connection was spotty. So I'm on the phone. So
it's good now, though.
Anyways, yeah. Well, I just wanted to say when I do my scans and everything, if I'm looking at things and it says a 1 on like cottage cheese, I don't eat cottage cheese ever. So I don't even go to it. I don't even bother with it because I zip over it until I'm finding something that I do eat. And if it shows me like a 1 or a 9, then I'm going to click on it and I'm going to see why.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. And look, that is 100% right. There are some of these foods that you probably don't even consume. But what it's saying is if you were to consume them, your body isn't going to cope with those today. Okay. So pineapple, so no pina coladas for you today. No peanuts. Now, beef is an interesting one because beef technically, like, it takes a long time to digest through the body, right? And so because if you remember, let's go back to your inner voice. Remember, we looked at there was a lot of digestive stuff. So we might start to see a pattern coming through here where beef and pork, for example, because they take a little bit longer to digest, it might be that your digestion is sluggish. So it's saying beef and pork today would not be good for you because your digestive probably wouldn't cope. Now, when we get to seafoods, sometimes like a lot of fish or whatever might come up for somebody. If it did, it doesn't mean that they're allergic to fish or they shouldn't have fish necessarily. It can actually mean the opposite. Now, how would I know that? I would scroll down to look at their omegas. And if their omegas are completely out of alignment, then it's actually something their body is probably needing. But you're all fine in that department. So that's kind of like the food sensitivity type of thing, right? So now what we're going to look at is things like, you know, red blood cell count is out. Sometimes if your white blood cell count is out, we would tend to go down and look at more of like your bacterial and viral stuff that's been going on in the body. I would tend to say to people like, have you been unwell lately? Have you had any like cold or anything like that going on in the body? When it comes to your chakras, all of your chakras are pretty good. You're grounded, which is really nice. The only one that's out for you is your third eye chakra, which is quite interesting because mine was out today too. Now you might say to me, well, hang on a minute, it was a 3 and it was green, and now it's a 2 and it's out. So what actually happens is when the frequency is running through the body initially, it is looking to see what is out of balance. Then what it's doing to optimize those balance, to optimize and balance, is that it shakes the cells to work to bring it back into homeostasis. But sometimes you'll have a clump of cells that then sort of spread apart because they're not meant to be clumped together. And when they do that, then it identifies that there is actually an issue with that. So it's not making it worse. But it is identifying that there is something out within the body. Now, when you get to vital, it's when you get to comprehensive, sometimes too, what can happen, and Lauren has explained this, is that sometimes, depending on what is out, it will borrow frequency from somewhere else to realign something more vital. So that's just an explanation for that as well. Yeah.
Bec, I just wanted to say about the third eye. As well, you know, I do a lot of talking with my collective in a different way because I have fifth dimension telepathy. So the third eye and the functions that run through the third eye, you know, it's not that important to me because I use different means of communicating, right? Different
Correct.
means of receiving, different means of, you know, getting those waves in. So that's why it could be down that much.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And then if we look at your meridians, your small intestine is showing sluggish. So now we're really starting to get the story on the digestive, right? And again, like if something like the large intestine was out, but it's balanced, it's not something I'm going to focus on, you know, with the person, you know, that I'm going through it with. But it gives you the physical and the emotional connections anyhow. So here we see that there was a bit of gut stuff going on in the digestive, but most of it is balanced. Whoops, sorry. I wasn't meaning to click on that then. Most of it has balance. There's a little bit of inflammation going on as well. Sorry, my little robot vacuum cleaner usually sits in here, but and it's sitting at the door waiting, trying to get in, which is hilarious. So when we look at pancreas stuff and, you know, blood sugars, this is something that we keep an eye on, that if it was to continue to show, it's not something that we look at first and go, oh, your blood glucose, etc., is out. So, but it is something that if we continue to see this over 3 or 4 scans, it might be worth going and getting your blood sugar checked, right? Or it's also worth starting to run frequency for it to bring it back into homeostasis. So digestive enzymes, again, something that I would look at to just keep an eye on, because it could be you could really find that it could be an absorption issue. Same with your micro minerals. Now, iron is an interesting one because iron can tend to be out if you have the MTHFR gene mutation. Do you know if you have that, David?
No, I have no idea.
That's all right. I'm going to talk a little bit about that because I was talking to a QLA yesterday about it, and I promised her I would cover it in this. My memory must be getting better that I remembered. Oh no, here we go. So MTHFR, it shows under genetic. Now yours is showing fine, so you don't have to, it's not really even something to flag with you. But MTHFR is a gene mutation. The symptoms and the signs for that is a number of things, including anxiety, depression. In women, it's a fertility issue and miscarriage. Things like that can show, but it's also the inability to be able to absorb your vitamin Bs. Now, when I was in my early 20s, I was continually told that, you've got your vitamin B levels are really low. And I was going to the doctor every second week to get shots of vitamin B12, not realizing that I actually, that I actually have the MTHFR gene mutation, and my body is unable to actually absorb vitamin B unless it's methylated. And that's why with Solex, we have a standard prime, which is all of your B complexes, but we have a methylated prime for those of us lucky enough to have the MTHFR gene mutation. So what I would be looking for here is anything that couldn't realign here, but then looking at the Bs to see if they wouldn't realign. A lot of the time with people with MTHFR, you'll see that a lot of the Bs won't realign. You don't have that, but I just wanted to explain that because this is something that when you're doing a scan for someone, a lot of people have MTHFR. So it's just something a lot of us don't actually even know about. Hey, sorry, that's my puppy dog barking. A little bit of cardiovascular stuff coming up. So again, that's just something to under homeoenergetics, under Cephi, I would run Hearts Plus just to bring that back into homeostasis. The other thing to look for, just coming back to MTHFR, which is not relevant to you, but is your detoxification processes through the liver. So that will, a lot of the times for people with MTHFR, these detoxification phases will also be out. So that's just to give you a bit more of a, again, we don't have all day today to go through the scans and things like that. And I don't want to hold people up too much because I know we have other questions, but I did really want to cover that off. When alcohol comes up, sometimes you'll have people go, well, I don't even drink, so that's wrong. Alcohol can be fermentation in the gut. So if you haven't had alcohol in the past little bit and haven't been hanging out at all your local bars, David, then it could be.
I got it, Bec. I got to tell you, I don't drink, so
right.
It's just haven't had a drink in a long time.
Okay, so that's where again we're now looking at potential fermentation in the gut. So we're really starting to get a good idea. Sorry, if everyone could just mute, please. If you don't have a question, that would be amazing, please, if you don't mind. Parasites, can I tell you, I had so many parasites coming up time after time after time for me. And I was actually trying to ignore them and hope that they would just come back into homeostasis because I'd done a parasite cleanse. It was a while ago. It's probably about 6 months ago. Anyway, it got to a point where I was like, okay, no, all right, I need to listen now. So I went back and did another scan. And on my easy scan, I could tell you at least 8 to 10 parasites come up on my easy scan. It was a bit embarrassing. I'm talking a lot. So I've bought my parasite cleanse. I've been taking it for 4 days now. I did my easy scan this morning and I had 1 parasite active in my body. So that's pretty cool. Now, if you don't know what something is, you can always click on it. I always give the worst examples. You can, no, never mind. You can generally click on it and it will give you an example. Not all of them, but most of them do have that. So that is there as well. If you're not sure of something, I know from my mum, and she's here, so she's going to be out there going, why is she talking about me? Because I can, that's why. Under viruses, I think it was this one. Yeah, this came up for her when she was in hospital the first time, and I'd never even heard of it before, and it would not go away. So the short version of this is called CMV. And I'm like, here, but it says under here, like diagnosed with this virus by the age of 40. I'm like, well, my mom's nearly 80. Like, how does that even work? So I asked the immunologist when he was in one day, and I said, did you happen to test for CMV? And he goes, well, we didn't specifically test for it, but it is in a group of tests. And he said, so actually, yes, we did. And I said, oh, and what did it show? He said, yes, it's showing active in her body at the moment. And I said, but my understanding is CMV is for people like under the age of like 40. It's usually diagnosed and quite prevalent then. He said, yes, but because her immune system was so shot, it was re-triggering things that had been laying dormant in her body. So isn't that just crazy, some of the stuff that can come up? It's really fascinating, really fascinating. Now I'm going to really quickly, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the comprehensive, but I just want to show you more how to read it. And then I can go through with David, him and I on a call another day, bit by bit. But again, 1 to 9 is how I like to read this report, like very similar to the vitals, but you do have the option to see it as an image report. Personally, for me, I like to read it the other way. So as soon as it loads, I click over to table report and I choose to see it this way. Now, what I'm looking for is anything up around a 70%. And I'm looking to bring those numbers down, preferably. It won't always, because as I said before, either the frequency will shift it in the other direction, and therefore it can bring those numbers up a little bit. But what I'm looking for, and I'm going to scroll down just until I find something that I can kind of flag to show you, is something with a high number or something that I'm looking for specifically. And I will use my friend who is also on this call today. I hope he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind me talking about him, but it's a really cool story. Gary, can I share your story? Do you mind? I better ask permission.
Absolutely, Bec. That's okay. Yeah, share it, please.
Thank you, love. It's a pretty crazy story, huh?
Yes. I'm still waiting for the doctor to send me the scans.
Yeah.
He sent me the letter, but he said he'd send the scans with an attachment, but it didn't come with the attachment, and I don't know why. So I'm going to contact him Monday and see if he can redo that again. I'll send those scans to you.
Okay. Let me share your story while I've got you.
That's a CT scan, that is.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep.
So Gary and I were talking the other day. I'm just going to stop sharing this for a second and I'll come back to this because it's a really cool story. Well, not cool for Gary, but from a device perspective of how we've been able to help him. So Gary and I were talking the other day, last Saturday night, early hours of Sunday morning, I think 3 a.m., he woke with really, really chronic severe chest pains and like 10 out of 10 pain. He was staying at his sister's house and, she's woken up and she's called the ambulance. They've got him to the hospital. Anyway, based on Gary's symptoms of what he was telling me, it really sounded like heart. Like I was kind of concerned. Well, I wasn't kind of concerned. I was actually really concerned as we were talking. And now Gary's only new. He's doing his training. So he hadn't got to the point of scanning himself yet. But I had him in the device. So I'm like, okay, we need to see what's going on. Now, Gary in the earlier part of the evening had a little bit of a fall, but not actually hurt himself. So when he's woken up at 3 a.m, that didn't even kind of cross his mind. So anyway, I've scanned him looking everything heart. And there was a little bit that was out, but not enough for me to go like, this looks like big heart stuff. And then I noticed on his scan that on his left side of his ribs, his 5 and 6, particularly his 5, but the top part of his ribs was a 9 and a 9. And I said, there's something going on with your ribs. Now he's had the scan, and what I think has happened, Gary, and you share with me if you think this feels right, is that I feel like you've had that fall, something's shifted in those ribs, and then you've rolled the wrong way in bed. And that's what's like, it's almost like fractured it, but then it snapped it, right? So he's actually broken his ribs, but had no idea. And here he is going like, the hospital sent him home, as only hospitals do. They did bloods and an x-ray and said, go home, there's nothing wrong with you, with no solution. So now what? And I said to Gary, you need to go back to the doctor and ask for, hence he's now had the CT scans and it has confirmed that he has broken rib, right? So could you imagine if he didn't have this technology? He would have No idea. You would have been in pain. Yeah, and I know you went to work, like whatever day it was, Monday or Tuesday, in absolute agony, not having a clue what is going on in your body.
Yeah, absolutely, Bec. It was, I forced myself to go to work, but I didn't know what was wrong until I went to the doctor. But exactly what you said, my doctor said, when I went to bed, okay, you're standing upright and all that sort of thing, and like 6-7 hours later, 3 o'clock in the morning, he said, well, you've rolled over. It was already fractured, but you rolled over, and exactly what you, yeah. So
Yep.
he confirmed what you said. Yeah.
Isn't that just crazy? Seriously, it blows my mind that it's the same as when my mum went into hospital a second time and we're sitting in emergency and they freaked her out with, oh, first we think you've got lymphoma, next you've got a blocked carotid artery. And I'm looking at the scanner going, no blocked carotid artery, nothing wrong with her bloods apart from like there was inflammation and stuff. Don't get me wrong, she wasn't well. But all the stuff that they're thinking that she might have, I could categorically tell her mum, it is not that. You know, I could see inflammation around the vessels and the veins and stuff around the carotid artery, 100%. But there was nothing wrong with the carotid artery itself. Now, who comes and tells an elderly, well, anybody for that matter, oh, well, we think you've got a blocked carotid artery. In other words, at any moment you could have a stroke and die. But we don't know yet, but that's what we think it is. That's just ridiculous. But for me to be able to show her, I'm telling you, there is nothing wrong with that. But look, there is something going on around it for sure. There is inflammation around the vessels, blah, blah, blah. What do? They come back and they go, oh yeah, no, it's not a blocked carotid artery, but you do have inflammation of the blood vessels around it. Mum looks at them and goes, oh yeah, my daughter told me that yesterday. Insane. Now, I just want to show you something real quick, coming back to David.
Bec, I have a couple of questions when you have time for me.
Yes, absolutely. I'll just quickly scroll through this part and then I'll come back to you for sure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So David, your right ear, although it's not 70%, but it was at 58%. And if we want to see anything that wasn't able to, bring itself back into balance, have you got anything going on with your right ear at the moment?
Yeah, my ear is often itchy and it gets sore sometimes, like an ache.
Yeah, okay. So that's it's interesting to know that, because you could be running frequency for yourself specifically around that as well. So that is the part of, if we scroll back out, so it's on the, turning you around and I'll make you dizzy in a minute. Oh, upside down. Oh. But isn't it amazing to be able to actually see it and to show someone what is potentially going on in their body? Like, honestly, it is just incredible. So
yeah, well, Bec, I was just going to say that when I do my scans, and if I see certain things that I'm actually physically feeling or whatnot, I'll do the scan, then I'll zip down and I do a playlist. So there's times that I'm doing, I think the most that I've ever done at one time is 7 playlists at a time. But don't forget, I've been doing frequencies for like years, and my body can do that. My body can adjust to that and that. So every time, so I had my ears in there, I've had dental in there, I've had eyes in there, I've had everything, my organs, and I make up playlists based upon what I see. And it does help, I just, so I'm just saying that I really look for something that I got to do a playlist with. So, and then I go ahead and create one and then I do it. And if I could just take a second, there's 2 things here, is that, people, I don't expect you to understand quantum physics, and I don't understand a lot of quantum physics, but because Bec had done a playlist for me when I was having some troubles and my internet was out and whatnot, she says, I got your back. She did a playlist and she initiated it. And in 10 minutes, I was feeling, it was to do with arthritis in my hands. And in 10 minutes, I was getting the relief. So, you know, for everybody that says, oh, well, I won't be seeing that person for a while, or, you know, I make a playlist. And if you don't understand it, then team up with somebody. Same with if you don't know how to present it to somebody, team up with somebody. Just go into the group and just ask, is anybody available to team up with me so I can explain this stuff, or you can join me to explain. But anyway, so Bec came to the rescue, and so and I'm in Toronto, she's in Australia, and so that playlist, that's what quantum physics is, and it just got to me like in 10 minutes. It's just great.
So good. The other thing I'm going to flag to you here real quick, and we'll go through your scans later, but again, if we go back to the digestive right at the beginning on your inner voice, then it showed again through your vitals. And here now your large intestine is showing on your comprehensive. I would definitely just keep an eye on the digestive side of things and potentially recommend some gut healing protocol as well. So I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute because I know we have a few questions. I'm just going to quickly go through the chat and then I'll open it up again. Can you overdo imprints for your water? No, I don't think so. How many would you recommend on a daily basis? As in how many imprints? You look, honestly, I mean, I usually imprint my water 3 times a day. You know what I did this morning though, while I was getting ready, was I actually went to, I'm going to show you real quick because it's something maybe some of you don't know. When you go to the Cephi section, you can go to Quantum Reach, for example, and just scan your body. So I'm going to scan David in real time and it comes up with the priority. So I had my crystal bracelets and I cleared the energy out of them by hitting the erase button. And then whatever the priority was, so David's priority today is forgiveness. So he's got to forgive me for telling everyone all about his digestive system. But you can erase the frequency out of anything. So you could be doing this into water. You know, I had a plant that was dying and I started imprinting love into the water for the plant before every time I watered it. You should see it now. It's beautiful. And I'm sure it's very grateful that I did that. But it shows you your priority in not every section, but in many of those sections. So not quantum frequency, quantum affirmations is the same. And quantum flowers, etc. So that's always an option as well. So it's not just water, but you can be imprinting frequency. So if it's for your children, you could be imprinting frequency into like a bracelet or a subtle energy frequency dot for them to be wearing like to school or whatever the case may be. Full scan, comprehensive. Yes, always in a voice, then vitals, then comprehensive. If you are having to take pharmaceutical, yeah, exactly. Definitely have a look at what those side effects are and focus on running that around the scan, and definitely with the cause as well. As I say, my blood pressure has been crazy lately and it was triggered by something specific, but it's been my adrenals that have really kept it up. And honestly, I've been running frequency for my blood pressure and doing all sorts of stuff, taking all the supplements, doing all the right things, but it wasn't until I actually realized, thanks to one of my beautiful friends who went, actually, I think it's your adrenals. I went, okay. And then I spoke to my other beautiful friend who's my naturopath, and she's like, yep, I was getting adrenals as well. And it's all come together. I'm like, now that I'm focusing on the cause, and I actually took some time and had a bath and relaxed last night, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just such a relief to know what the actual cause of it is. So always look for that. The parasite cleanse, well, you can be doing a parasite cleanse playlist in your device, but there was a product that I was taking that was a parasite cleanse from a company, but to be honest with you, they just put their prices up and it's now nearly $70. So I went, you know what, I'm not doing that anymore. So I prefer to support local where I can. One of our QLAs, Glenn Gillard, he owns a company called Bioactive. So I actually buy his parasite cleanse now. One, it's cheaper. Two, it's probably better. And three, apparently, according to my scanner, it works really quickly. Okay, so
I've got one more question, sorry.
sure.
Is that all right? I just want to confirm, do we have to have permission to scan other people?
Absolutely.
We do.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I would never scan anyone without their permission. If
Right.
if they're in my device, like my nephew, I scanned him once, and then he had a virus or something, so I scanned him again. I didn't ring him first and say, hey, can I scan you? Because I already have his permission from when he was in my device. But the initial one, I would say yes, absolutely.
I thought so. Thank you.
Pleasure. We don't do these weekly, however, we do Monday night calls, but I do think we should do these more regularly. So I think these are really beneficial and helpful for everybody. So 100%. Now, there was another question. Sorry, I'm looking for. Oh, yes, there you are. Good morning. Sorry. How can I help?
Becca, from the playlist, there is 20-second imprint
Yes.
option, and there is no picture or background to print. How you use this to print on object or water or ring?
Yeah, I don't actually know. Does anybody know the answer to that question? Because I actually don't feel like it's to imprint. I still feel like it's sending the frequency. Does anyone know the answer to that? Where's Katie? KJ, do you know the answer to that? You still here? I know Katie was on before. I might need to come back to you on that one. Because that's not something that I use. So I'm not 100% sure, but I have thought that myself previously as well. So let me ask the question and come back to you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Another one.
Yes.
My mom is overseas and I'm trying to help her. She has Alzheimer and all of this
I remember.
now I have only record of her voice about 2 months ago. Can I keep use the same record for inner voice?
Not really. You can still do her vitals and comprehensive and be doing playlists and sending her those daily, but for her to be able to just to have an updated voice scan would be really beneficial because our emotions change on a regular basis. So for it to be up to date, I would genuinely recommend that even if you can get one of the family members over there just to or ring her and have that record it would be beneficial. But that's only for inner voice. The rest of the scans you can be doing for her, no troubles at all, and sending her frequency.
So if I do other scans for her or frequencies, can I still get any benefits even using the old voice?
You don't need to use the voice. So with your mum, what I would be doing is I would be doing a vitals and a comprehensive on her probably once a month. And I'm speaking into this for those of you who don't know, because I do know the situation. And I would be running the playlist for her for the Alzheimer's dementia daily. So we did put a playlist up. I don't know if you saw it, but if you didn't, I'll have it sent to you specifically for Alzheimer and dementia. And you can literally just send that to her on a continuous daily. So let me show you what that looks like real quick, because I know that we're getting a bit out of time. But let's say I've got a custom playlist here. I know that I'm in David's account, but let's talk about adrenals. Let's say David had an adrenal issue. I'm on his account. He is the target, and I can literally just press play.
Yes, I do that to her on some of my playlists, which is bone related and Alzheimer related and all of this. But I'm happy if you have this comprehensive list. for the Alzheimer or
Absolutely. We will
improve
get that
her.
sent to you without a doubt. And the other thing that you can do is, don't forget, you can also go to the homeopathy here and go to by symptom, and then click on either Alzheimer's or dementia. I'm sure that
Yeah,
there'll
there
be
is
one of
there
them.
is one. There
Yeah,
is one.
here.
Yes.
So you can be running that for her as well. But remember, you can, if you're on her profile, you can scan this and it'll tell you the top priority, and then you can send that continuously as well.
Brilliant. I do that. Thank you. One more
Beautiful. My
question. I'm
pleasure.
using sometimes a computer
Mhm.
or laptop. Do you think the laptop do the same job as a phone, or
Yes.
it doesn't send frequencies?
Yes, same job.
Sometimes I can open more than one tab, which is, for example, 3-4 tabs. For mom,
Mhm.
I can send for her from each screen different frequencies.
Yeah.
Do you think it works?
Yes.
Ah, that's much better than the phone, because I can keep the computer run all the day and get better results.
Absolutely.
All right.
100%.
All right. One more question
Bec-
about
Oh,
Yeah.
about
sorry.
imprint. If there's any limit for the quantity of water I can imprint on one time. For example, I have a 1 liter bottle, which is
Yep.
use to imprint in the morning. I use it all the day for me to improve or to help me improving the situation. So do you
Yep.
think 1 liter will be too much for the imprint?
No, absolutely not. You can imprint as much water as you like. The only thing is it must be in glass. So for me, I have like a jug, a glass jug. I put my water in that. I imprint the water. Then because I have I generally have a stainless steel type of bottle that I carry. So then I will pour my water into that stainless steel bottle, add my fulvic minerals, and off I go for the day. So you just need to make sure you're imprinting into glass, not, you can do it into plastic, but it's not ideal.
If I use it every day, is that will hurt my emotions or my body at all if I keep drinking all the frequency every day?
No, it's amazing for your body. It's perfect.
Brilliant.
I do think that just going back to the tab section, I do think that that is an extension of what's coming. I don't think I think it is effective, and I don't think it's a bad thing to do. I actually think it's going to be an extension of what's coming for the scanner. So just to clarify that.
Right.
Yeah, I was just going to add that too, Bex, because I know there was a conversation in one of the groups with Tammy and Becky, and it's not a recommendation at this point in time.
I'll check with Lauren on that one.
Yeah, but I just thought it was quite recent, and there was quite a lot of conversation around it, and it was quite, they said no, that's not. Yeah. But I also can't log into more than one device, so I don't quite know how you can continue. Like if I open my system on the laptop, it bumps me out of my device. So I'm not sure how you would do that. Be able to
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it's not supposed to. You're not supposed to be able to do that. But whilst I was bringing it up on here earlier, I was still running a scan over here. So as much as you're not supposed to be able to do it, sometimes sometimes you can.
I still can use the laptop screen to imprint.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. One more question. How long this imprint water will last? 24 hours, 48 hours?
It depends what you put it in. If you go and put it in stainless steel or something like that, and it's enclosed and not near the sunlight, it could last up to 3 to 5 days. If you go and put it in plastic, then I probably wouldn't leave it any more than 24 hours.
Right.
But you're probably not going to want water unless it's in the fridge or something like that more than a few days anyhow.
Okay, tell me something just to clarify. If I run for myself, for example, a playlist for all chakras together, is that will hurt my body because I like to fix as much as possible. So, for example,
Okay.
if I make a playlist and I include all the chakras together as chakras playlist.
Okay, so intuitively, what I would say no, and not because it's wrong, but I would run an easy scan first, see what chakras are out of alignment, and then I would run a playlist specifically for that chakra or chakras. So for example, if it was the heart chakra, I would create a playlist, and there are playlists for each of the chakras, so we can share those. But under heart chakra, I would be doing obviously heart chakra, love, forgiveness, and gratitude, love, hearts plus, all of those, cleaning your blood plasma, all of those sorts of frequencies. I wouldn't necessarily run chakras all together.
Right. If you have some playlist for positive vibe or some nice vibe around me or around my clients, can we have a playlist for positive vibe?
For what, sorry?
Positive
Oh,
vibe.
yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh, yes.
I love create this
for-
atmosphere around my clients or myself.
I love
So-
that. Yes, absolutely. Of
So-
course.
Please, if you have a list or a comprehensive list, can you send it to me?
I'm going to make you one.
Okay, thank you, dear. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, so thank you for this meeting. It was really benefit for me.
Wonderful. All right, just checking questions, multiple tabs for the same person.
And when you are here in Sydney, I have very good. I hope I will have very good news from people I apply this frequency for them.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I look forward to seeing you again when I'm down there as well. And feel free to invite them along.
Great. I will do that.
Yeah. And just in regards to those tabs, it would be for the one person, not multiple people at once. So they are bringing in time where, let's say we've got a spike protein playlist running, and I wanted to play a spike protein playlist for my whole family, which I would love to be able to do all at once a week. That I believe is coming, but it's not here yet. So that's just to clarify. So we're running a little bit over time. So I just ask for any last questions that's absolutely burning before we go. Annette, yep.
Thank you again. Could you just explain how to do the imprint on the laptop? Because I'm having trouble with the phone I bought to use.
Yeah, well, you just need to be able to put the screen down on the laptop to be able to sit it flat and sit whatever it is on top of that, and then clear and imprint from there.
It has to actually physically be on it, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks again. It's a
Pleasure.
great call. I'm really happy I'm on this. Thank you.
Wonderful. I'm really happy you're on this as well. And I actually love this. It's great to be able to answer questions, and because it's one of those things that you don't think of something until we're going through something else and you think, oh gosh, I actually don't know this, or so it's really beneficial for sure.
It's actually the way I learn, so it's really
good. Oh, I love that. When setting up CEPIs, some include an inner voice letter. Is that a general tone? I actually don't know, Sue. I'd have to find out. Someone asked a question in regards to that yesterday about, I've never actually done it. So I'd have to ask in regards to that. So leave that with me, and I'll do like a little video or something like that. Voice on our Frequency Soul Collective QLA page once I have the answer for you. So yeah, leave that one with me. All right, well, I am going to finish up the call here today because we've been on here for a while. Not that I want to leave you all, but I do have a client coming. So it's been amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, David, for allowing me to tell everybody everything about you.
Well, there's a lot missing.
David and I have this ongoing joke. I promise I didn't tell them everything. And thank you, Gary, for allowing me to share your story as well, because we just keep getting more and more powerful stories from you, which is amazing. Because I tell you what, if there was a chance that people didn't believe that this stuff worked, when you have experiences like Gary's had, you know, and David's had as well. It's phenomenal. So thank you everyone for joining me today. I think this is a really great idea to be able to do these calls more often. So I think we will. I will set those up to happen more often. And for those of you who are based in Vegas, we have an event this Thursday evening on the south side of Brisbane. So between Brisbane and the Gold Coast, if you have people that you would like to invite, I will share the event in our group. And then we have the Sydney event coming at the end of the month as well. So,
yep.
Wonderful.
Bec, just to say, when I rang you Tuesday, you did that scan and ran that scan on me. You gave me the results on Tuesday. I went in Wednesday to the doctor to get the CT scan done, and I didn't get the results back from him until Thursday, about 12 o'clock. So that was quite amazing what you've done, and showed me before I even went in to get my scan that my rib was fractured.
Yes.
Or there somewhere. Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's just, yeah, it's blown me away. Like, at least I sort of, oh, is this really? That must be what's wrong with me, you know? So, but I didn't know until I got the scan done, but now there's the proof. Yeah.
100%. What a huge testimonial as well. And I'll actually create a playlist for you today for your rib, and I'll start running some stuff for pain and that for you as well. So I'll keep you posted on that. Awesome. All right, everyone.
Bec, a quick question. How frequent we have these meetings?
Pardon?
How frequent we have these meetings? Every week or?
Well, it's a very good question. Maybe if everyone can go into the group and just share their thoughts about how often you would like them, whether we do it fortnightly. I think a Saturday morning is a really good time because then our US friends can join us. Sometimes we'll be able to have Tammy on here, and she's of course just an absolute wealth of knowledge. So yeah, you share with us how often you would want them and we will make them happen. So
brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you again, everyone.
You, Becky.
It's wonderful to see you all, and we'll talk soon, no doubt. Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.